Good morning. Welcome to the Millionaire Book Club. My name is Pearlie Hunter. Side effects of tapping in with me every single morning do include personal development, mindset transformations, paradigm shifts, and the ability to think your way to success. So I am super blessed this good Tuesday morning. Super grateful. Drop me something that you're grateful for in the chats. I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my spouse, my children, my parents, my family, extended family, and soul family. I'm grateful for another day to serve in my purpose. I'm grateful for my mindset development. I'm grateful for my personal development and my self mastery. I'm grateful for nature. I'm grateful for love. I'm grateful for light. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for everybody. I'm grateful for humanity. I'm grateful that I am doing my part to assist humanity in raising their vibration, raising their frequency, elevating it to love and not fear, right? Faith over fear. So I'm super grateful to be chosen and called to do this book club because it definitely was something that was divinely formed by me in the universe, something that I know could benefit me and benefit a whole lot of other people as well, just by being exposed to this information, developing healthy habits and routines, and learning new ideas to think from, new information. So I'm just super grateful. I'll get the daily word read. Okay. So today is Tuesday, July 27th. The daily word is carefree. Okay. My carefree heart soars to new heights. I set my intention today to keep my heart light and carefree. That does not mean every thought or experience of the day will be untroubled, but it does mean I will choose to view the circumstance from the highest perspective of peace and love. I choose to shrug off those little things that sometimes receive too much of my attention. Instead, I look for levity and take all situations with a grain of salt. I respond with a light touch. My carefree heart is filled with the laughter of good friends and beloved family. I enjoy the times we spend together to catch up on our lives or share the experiences of the day. I give thanks for the beauty and goodness that surround me, grateful for the carefree attitude I bring to life. Happy are those who live in your house, ever singing your praise. Okay, and that's Psalm 84:4. Okay, carefree. My carefree heart soars to new heights, right? And when you are living and doing things that make you happy, doing for you, it's very easy to be carefree, right? Because you're not out here overly obsessed with what other people are thinking about you, are saying about you, are doing to you. You don't think nobody is out trying to get you. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, and how divine. Look what card just came. Discern the truth. Okay? Discern the truth. Be carefree. Discern the truth. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, then we react by sending emotional poison with our word. This creates a whole big drama for nothing. Okay? And then another, oh no, this was don't make assumptions. And we have a don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. Love and respect yourself. Don't take anything personally. Love and respect yourself. Okay. And this one says, you are never responsible for the actions of others, but you are responsible for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. You may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Okay. Love it. Don't make assumptions today and don't take anything personally today. Okay. Beautiful. So if you are watching this live, I appreciate you. I'm super, super grateful, thankful, and blessed that you are here. If you are watching this on the replay, type replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Also, drop me something that you are grateful for. If you are not connected or subscribed to my YouTube page, please subscribe and like my page. It is I Coach Wealth on YouTube, and on Instagram, it's also I Coach Wealth, but it just has underscores. Okay, so it's I_coach_wealth. On YouTube, it's just I Coach Wealth. Okay, so let's get the read started. Let's go ahead and get this read started for the day. Yesterday, we started on chapter 7, and it was all about the mind. It went a little into the monkey mind, the monk mind, and how we are ruled by our senses, basically, right? So everything that enters our minds enters through our senses. Okay, so if you can control that sensory input and output, then you can control your mind, basically. Okay, so today we are starting on page 155 today. If I say something that resonates with you, drop an MOC in the chat. MOC means a moment of clarity. It's my way to connect with the audience, to make sure that you are still with me. Number one, you are awake, you are here, you are present, you are taking value from this read that we are doing. And you learning something, right? MOC, it can mean something totally different for you than it means for somebody else, right? Moment of clarity, when something was made clearer for you, right? When you heard some information that you were not privy to, things like that. Okay. So page 155, we are starting with the stubborn conscious. The stubborn, subconscious. Okay. The stubborn subconscious. The mind already has certain instinctive patterns that we never consciously chose, right? Imagine you have an alarm on your phone set to ring at the same time every morning. It's an excellent system until a national holiday comes along and the alarm goes off anyway. That alarm is like our subconscious. It's already been programmed and defaults to the same thoughts and actions day after day. We live much of our lives following the same path we've always taken, for better or worse. And these thoughts and behaviors will never change unless we actively reprogram ourselves. Joshua Bell, a world-famous violinist, decided to busk outside a DC subway station during the morning rush hour. Playing on a rare and precious instrument, he opened up his case for donations and performed some of the most difficult pieces ever written for the violin. In about 45 minutes, barely anyone stopped to listen or donate. He made about $30. 3 days before the subway performance, he had played the same violin at Boston Symphony Hall, where the decent seats went for $100. There are many reasons people might not stop to hear a brilliant musician playing, but one of them is certainly that they were on autopilot, powering through the rush hour crowds. How much do we miss when we're in default mode? Insanity is doing the same thing again and again, expecting different results. This quote is often attributed to Einstein, although there's no proof that he ever said it. How many of us do the same thing, year after year, hoping our lives will transform? Thoughts repeat in our minds, reinforcing what we believe about ourselves. Our conscious isn't awake to make edits. The narration playing in your mind is stuck in its beliefs about relationships, money, how you feel about yourself, how you should behave. We all have had the experience of someone saying, "You look amazing today." And our subconscious responding, "I don't look amazing. They're just saying that to be nice." When someone says, "You really deserve that," perhaps you say to yourself, "Oh no, I'm not sure I can do it again." These habitual reactions pepper our days. Change begins with the words inside your head. We are going to work on hearing, curating, choosing, and switching our thoughts. Okay? Hearing, curating, choosing, and switching our thoughts. Try this. Okay? We got some action steps. Wake up the subconscious. Write down all the noise you hear in your mind on a daily basis, noise that you know you don't want to have, right? So those negative thoughts, those uncomfortable things that come up. This should not be a list of your problems. Instead, write the negative, self-defeating messages your mind is sending you, such as, you're not good enough. You can't do this. You don't have the intelligence to do this. These are the times when the charioteer is asleep at the wheel. Okay? Invest in the conscious mind. Just as you are not your mind, you are not your thoughts. Saying to yourself, I don't deserve love or my life sucks, doesn't make it a fact. But these self-defeating thoughts are hard to rewire. All of us have a history of pain, heartbreak, and challenges, whatever they may be. Just because we've been through something and it's safely in the past doesn't mean it's over. On the contrary, it will persist in some form, often in self-defeating thoughts, until it teaches us what we need to change. If you haven't healed your relationship with your parents, you'll keep picking partners who mirror the unresolved issues. If you don't deliberately rewire your mindset, you are destined to repeat and recreate the pain you've already endured. Okay? It's not worth it. It's not worth it to keep going through the same things over and over again. It may sound silly, but the best way to overwrite the voices in your head is to start talking to them, literally. Okay? Start talking to yourself every day. Feel free to address yourself with your name and to do it out loud whenever you're comfortable doing so. So maybe not on a first date or a job interview. Sound is powerful, and hearing your own name grabs your attention. If your mind says you can't do this, respond by saying to yourself, you can do it. You have the ability. You have the time. Talking yourself through a project or task enhances focus and concentration. Those who do it function more efficiently. In a series of studies, researchers showed volunteers groups of pictures, then asked them to locate specific items from among those pictured. Half of the subjects were told to repeat the names of the items to themselves out loud as they searched, and the other half were told to stay silent. Those who repeated the items were significantly faster than the silent searchers. The researchers concluded that talking to yourself not only boosts your memory, it also helps you focus. Psychologist Linda Sapadin adds that talking to yourself helps you clarify your thoughts, tend to what's important, and firm up any decisions you're contemplating. Okay? So don't let people make you think you crazy, right? Make you think that you're going crazy or that you're crazy, right? And that comes with being carefree, with not caring what other people say. If you know that you are talking because you are checking yourself, you got to check yourself, right? The same way you would speak out to somebody else if they were doing something or saying something wrong to you or about you or to someone or about someone. When that voice in your head is steering you in the wrong direction, talk it out, right? Talk it out. Let's consider some ways you can find a new perspective to shift your mind in a productive way. Reframe. If you're like most other humans, your intellect excels at telling your mind where it goes wrong, but rarely bothers to tell your mind where it goes right. What kind of parenting is that? Nothing's going to get better. Nobody understands me. I'm not good enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not smart enough. We look for the worst in ourselves and tell ourselves that it will never change. This is the least encouraging approach we could pick. Good morning, Crystal. Welcome, Queen. There are 3 routes to happiness, all of them centered on knowledge, learning, progressing, and achieving. Okay? There are 3 routes to happiness, all of them centered on knowledge, learning, progressing, and achieving. Whatever we are growing, we feel happy and free of material yearnings. If you're unsatisfied or criticizing yourself or feeling hopeless, don't let that stall you out. Identify the ways you're making progress, and you will begin to see, feel, and appreciate the value of what you are doing. Reframe your self-criticism in terms of knowledge. When you hear yourself say, I'm bored, I'm slow, I can't do this, respond to yourself. You are working on it. You are improving. This is a reminder to yourself that you are making progress. Build a relationship with that pessimistic child's voice, right? That inner voice. Your adult voice will get stronger as you read, research, apply, and test. Turn up the volume on recognizing what your mind gets right. Rather than amplifying your failures, amplify your progress. If you manage to wake up early 2 days out of 7, encourage yourself as you would a child who was just beginning to make a change. If you accomplished half of what you planned, call it a glass half full. In addition to amplifying our growth, we can use positive direction to reframe unwanted thoughts. Our monkey mind often creates chatter like, I can't do this. This can be reworded to, I can do this by. Okay? I can't do this becomes, I can do this by. I'm bad at this becomes, I'm investing the time I need to get better. I'm unlovable becomes, I'm reaching out to new people to make new connections. I'm ugly becomes, I'm taking steps to be my healthiest. I can't handle everything becomes, I'm prioritizing and checking items off my list. Okay? So be kind to yourself. Have some grace and mercy with yourself, right? Don't count yourself out. Don't put energy on your flaws, right? Even if you are not totally where you want to be or need to be or see yourself being, don't put energy on what's not. Put energy on what is and what will be, okay? And not even really what will be. You have to look at this thing like it's already there. It's already yours, okay? Putting a solution-oriented spin on your statement reminds you to be proactive and take responsibility rather than languishing in wishful thinking. We can take action instead of using words alone to reframe our state of mind. A simple way of overcoming this is to learn one new thing every day. It doesn't have to be big. You don't need to teach yourself how to code or learn quantum mechanics. You could read an article about a person, a city, or a culture, and you'll feel a burst of self-esteem. You have something to contribute to the next conversation you have. Even if you just learn one new word, here's one. The Intuit word, extuarpak. I butchered this word, y'all, okay? IKTSUARPOK. It refers to the feeling of anticipation you have when you're waiting for a guest and you keep going to the window to check and see if they've arrived. Just sharing a new word in conversation can bring richness to the dinner table. Many of the frustrations we endure can be seen as blessings because they urge us to grow and develop. Try putting negative thoughts and circumstances on the perspective continuum. The same way doctors evaluate pain, I ask people to rate an individual concern on a scale of 1 to 10. 0 is no worries. 10 is the worst thing in the world. Something as awful as, I worry that my whole family will die. Actually, that's probably an 11. Okay. So he got a little picture here, the perspective scale. Okay. So it got 0 to 10, tolerable to devastating. 0 is tolerable, 10 is devastating. Okay. And then how would you rate these on a scale of 0 to 10? Remember, 0 is tolerable, 10 is devastating. Okay. So how would you rate these? Losing a job, loved one dying, prized possession stolen, sports injury, broken computer, lost pet, big breakup, missed opportunity. Okay. Problems of all sorts can feel like they deserve a 10 rating, especially in the middle of the night. Not getting promoted feels like a 10. Losing a treasured watch, another 10. But if you've ever experienced the pain of losing someone you love, and we all have or will, the scale shifts. Your whole perspective shifts. Suddenly, losing your job is not great, but tolerable. The watch is gone, but it was just an object. Your body may be imperfect, but it's giving you some great experiences. Use the awareness of what deep pain really is to keep smaller disruptions in perspective. And when you must face a truly devastating 10, own it. Take the time to heal. This is not about reducing the impact of all negative experiences. It's about gaining a clearer view of them. And sometimes a 10 is a 10. Okay? Okay. So the next part is slow it down. Slow it down. Sometimes reframing works best on paper. Imagine a monkey swinging from branch to branch at full throttle. It takes effort to grab its attention and force it to focus. When your mind is anxious and racing, when your thoughts are repetitive and unproductive, when you feel like you need to press pause, take 15 minutes to write down every thought that enters your mind. For a study, a group of college students spent 15 minutes a day for 4 days writing their deepest thoughts and feelings about the most traumatic experience of their lives. Not only did the students say they found the experience to be valuable, 98% said they'd like to do it again. But they didn't just enjoy the writing, it also improved their health. Students who'd written about traumatic experiences had fewer visits to the University Health Center after the study. The researchers concluded that one of the benefits of the writing may have been helping students render their worst experiences as a coherent narrative. Distancing themselves from the moment in this way allowed them to see the experiences objectively and, one hopes, to conjure a happy ending. Writer Krista McGray was terrified of flying. She tried white knuckling it. She tried logic. She even tried having a few drinks. But every time she knew she'd have to fly, she spent weeks in advance imagining what her kids' lives would be like after she went down in a fiery crash. Okay? That's anticipatory anxiety, right? What we read yesterday. Anticipating the worst, and therefore it gives you anxiety, right? Allowing false evidence to appear real. McGray started blogging about this fear as a means of trying to gain perspective. And it was then she realized she was on a track to become her grandmother, who refused to fly and missed out on a lot because of it. So McGray started listing everything she wanted to do in her life that would be worth flying for. Though she hasn't totally conquered her fear, she did manage to take a bucket list vacation to Italy with her husband. Writing by itself doesn't solve all our problems, but it can help us gain critical perspective we can use to find solutions. If you don't like writing, you can speak into your phone, then play back the audio file or read the transcript. Many phones can transcribe spoken words into text. Recording yourself puts you in an observer mindset, making you deal more objectively with yourself. Another option is to simply repeat an ancient samurai saying that the monks use. Make my mind my friend, over and over in your head. Make my mind my friend. When you repeat a phrase, it quiets the default mode network, the area of the brain associated with mind wandering and thinking about yourself. The monkey will be forced to stop and listen. Okay? Find self-compassion. When the anxious monkey mind stops to listen, you can tweak the internal monologue with self-compassion. When anxious thoughts arise, instead of indulging them, we respond with compassion. I know you're worried and upset and you feel like you can't handle this, but you are strong. You can do it. Remember, it's about observing your feelings without judging them. With my friends at the branding company, Shareability, I did an exercise with a small group of teenage girls and their sisters. I asked the girls to write down negative thoughts they had that affected their self-esteem. They wrote down things like, you are scared, you are worthless, you are unimportant. Then I asked them to read what they'd written to their sisters as if it were about them. They all refused. It's not very nice. One pointed out that it was normal in her head, but completely different when she spoke it. We say things to ourselves that we would never say to people we love. We all know the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. To that, I would add, treat yourself with the same love and respect you want to show to others. All right, try this. Got to try this. New scripts for the charioteer. New scripts for the person in the driver's seat, right? Which is you. We are in the driver's seats. Number 1, write a list of the negative things you say to yourself. Next to each one, write down how you would present that idea to someone you care about. For example, these are the negative thoughts the sisters wrote down about themselves, along with how they might have presented them to their sisters. You are scared. It's okay to feel scared. How can I help you through this? You are worthless. You feel worthless? Let's talk about what you love about yourself. You are unimportant. These things make you feel unimportant. Before we talk about how to change that, let's list what makes you feel important. Good morning, Barb. Welcome, Queen. What makes you feel important? Number 2, imagine you found out that your child or best friend or cousin or someone who is dear to you was getting a divorce. What is your first reaction? What would you say to the person? What advice would you give them? You might say, I'm sorry. I know this is a hard time. Or, congratulations. I know you're going through a lot, but people rarely ever regret getting divorced. We would never tell a loved one, you're an idiot. You must be a loser if you married that loser. We give love and support, maybe offering ideas and solutions. This is how we should talk to ourselves. Okay? We are defined by the narrative that we write for ourselves every day. Why? Because people see us how we see ourselves. So if you see yourself as a vibrant person, a confident person, a positive, loving, giving, caring person, 9 times out of 10, that's how other people are going to see you, because that's your vibe, that's your energy, right? We are defined by the narrative that we write for ourselves every day. Is it a story of joy, perseverance, love, and kindness? Or is it a story of guilt, blame, bitterness, and failure? Find a new vocabulary to match the emotions and feelings that you want to live by. Talk to yourself with love. Okay? Stay present. It can be hard to know what to tell your monkey mind when it's dwelling on the past or spinning into the future. Father Richard Rohr writes, all spiritual teaching, this is not an oversimplification, is about how to be present to the moment. But the problem is, we're almost always somewhere else, reliving the past or worrying about the future. We all have happy memories that we enjoy revisiting and painful memories that we can't let go. But both nostalgia and remorse can be traps, closing us off from new experiences and keeping us locked in the unresolved past and or the good old days. Just as the past is unchangeable, the future is unknowable. A certain amount of planning is useful and good preparation for the various scenarios ahead. But when these thoughts tip into the repetitive anxiety and worry or unrealistic aspirations, they are no longer productive. Whether it feels like the world's falling down around you or you're just having a bad day at work, the challenges to presence abound. Realistically, you'll never reach a point in your life when you're present 100% of the time. That's not the goal. After all, thinking about good times we've had or valuable lessons we've learned in the past and planning for our future are excellent uses of our mental bandwidth. What we don't want to do is waste time on regret or worry. Practicing presence helps us do as spiritual teacher Ram Dass advised, and be here now. Okay? Be here now. Not in the past, not in the future, in the present moment. Feeling your feelings, working through them in your mind, right? Being responsible, being the master of your thoughts and your actions. When your mind continually returns to thoughts of the past or the future, look for clues in the present. Is your mind seeking to shield or distract you? Instead of thinking about what mattered in the past or what the future might hold, gently guide your mind back to the moment. Ask yourself questions about right now. What is missing from this moment? What is unpleasant about today? What would I like to change? Ideally, when we talk to ourselves about the present, we look back on the negative and positive elements of the past as the imperfect road that brought us to where we are. A life that we accept and from which we can still grow. And ideally, we also think of the future in context of the present. An opportunity to realize the promise of today. Okay? Nothing owns you. Nothing owns you. When we talk to ourselves as we would to a loved one, just as when we observe the argument between the child mind and the adult mind, we're creating a distance between ourselves and our own minds in order to see more clearly. We've discussed this approach before. Instead of reacting emotionally, monks gain perspective by stepping out of a situation to become objective observers. In chapter 3, we talked about stepping away from fear, and we gave this action a name: detachment. The crane stands still in water, ignoring the small fish as they pass by. Her stillness allows her to catch the bigger fish. Detachment is a form of self-control that has infinite benefits across every form of self-awareness that I talk about in this book. But its origin is always in the mind. The Gita defines detachment as doing the right thing for its own sake, because it needs to be done, without worrying about success or failure. That sounds simple enough, but think about what it takes to do the right thing for its own sake. It means detaching from your selfish interests, from being right, from being seen in a certain way, from what you want right now. Detaching means escaping the hold of the senses, of earthly desires, of the material world. You have the perspective of an objective observer. Only by detaching can we truly gain control of the mind. Okay? Only by detaching can we truly gain control of the mind. I've remixed some Zen stories, introducing new characters so that they're more relatable. One of them is about a monk who arrives at the entrance to a palace. She's a known holy woman, so she is brought to the king, who asks the monk what she wants. "I would like to sleep in this hotel for the night," says the monk. The king is rather taken aback at this unexpected lack of respect. "This is not a hotel. It is my palace," he says haughtily. The monk asks, "Who owned this place before you?" The king folds his arm across his chest. "My father. I am heir to the throne," he declares. "Is he here now?" "He is not. He is dead. What is the meaning of this?" "And before your father, who was the owner?" "His father," the king shouts. The monk nods. "Ah," she says. "So people who come to this place stay here for a while and then continue their journey. Sounds like a hotel to me." This story gives a window into the illusion of permanence with which we all live. A more recent window is Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, the show where Kondo helps people declutter their lives, and at the end, over and over again, you'll see people weeping with relief and joy at having purged so much. That's because they've just dramatically decreased the number of things they're attached to. Attachment brings pain. If you think something is yours or you think you are something, then it hurts to have it taken away from you. A quote from Ali, cousin and son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad, best explains the monk idea of detachment. Detachment is not that you own nothing, but that nothing should own you. Okay? Detachment is not that you own nothing, but that nothing should own you. I love how this summarizes detachment in a way that is not usually explained. Usually, people see detachment as being removed from everything, not caring. Marie Kondo isn't telling people to stop caring. She is telling them to look for joy. Actually, the greatest detachment is being close to everything and not letting it consume and own you. Okay? That's real strength. So you want to connect to everything, but attached to nothing. Connect to everything, attached to nothing. Like most monks' endeavors, detachment is not a destination one arrives at, but a process one must constantly, consciously undertake, right? Just like our self-awareness, self-mastery journey. It's not something that we are going to just wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I'm super, you know what I'm saying? I'm super happy, positive, you know what I'm in alignment. That is how we supposed to wake up. But what I'm saying is day to day, you're going to have to work at it every single day. It's a new day, a new set of things that experiences that you'll encounter and have to navigate through positively. And they won't be the same every single day. So that's why every day is different. Every day is an opportunity to grow and do better than you did the day before, right? It's hard enough to detach in an ashram where monks own almost nothing but our ideas and identities. In the modern world, we can strive for detachment, particularly when we face challenge like an argument or a decision, and hope to achieve it fleetingly. Okay? Don't try this at home. Monks go to extremes to achieve detachment. I don't expect you to do this, but after we look at how it works, we'll talk about more practical, even fun ways to experiment with detachment and the benefits it yields. Experiments in discomfort like fasting, silence, meditating in heat or cold, and others we've discussed. Detach you from the body because they make you realize how much of the discomfort is in the mind. Okay? So when you take a cold shower, right? And you withstand that, it detaches you from your body because once you get through it, you know most of that discomfort started in your mind, right? And we in a routine, right? We take hot showers. That's the routine. But switch it up. Detach from the normal. Get uncomfortable. Okay? Detach you. So fasting, silence, meditating in heat or cold showers. These detach you from the body because they make you realize how much of the discomfort is in the mind. Another way we monks tested our detachment was to travel with nothing. No food, no shelter, no money. We had to fend for ourselves and recognize that we needed very little to get by. It also made us more grateful for all that we had. All of these exercises helped us push ourselves to the limit, mentally and physically, to build resolve, resilience, grit, to strengthen our ability to control our minds. The first time I did a full day fast, consuming no food or water, I spent the first few hours feeling desperately hungry. We weren't supposed to take naps while we were fasting. The point was to have the experience, not to avoid it with sleep. I had to use my intellect to soothe myself. I had to become absorbed in something higher to let go of these hungry thoughts. As the day went on, I realized that because my body didn't need to think about what to eat, to prepare for a meal, to consume, or to digest, I actually had more of a different sort of energy. When we fast, we detach from the body and all the time we spend attending to its demands. When we remove eating, we can let go of hunger and satiety, pain and pleasure, failure and success. We redirect our energy and attention to focus on the mind. In future fasts, I got in the habit of using that energy to study, research, make notes, or prepare a talk. Fasting became a creative time, free of distractions. So basically what he was doing was keeping himself busy so he wouldn't focus on his mind telling him, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, right? At the end of the fast, I felt physically tired, but mentally stronger. In functioning without something my body relied on, I had broken a limit that existed in my mind. I gained flexibility. And why did it exist in his mind? Because we feel like we have to eat. We need to eat, right? To survive. This is how we've been programmed 3 times a day, right? Even if you started to just intermittently fast and drop down to 1 meal a day, right? Okay. I had broken a limit that existed in my mind. I gained flexibility and adaptability and resourcefulness. That experience with fasting bled into the rest of my life. Fasting is a physical challenge driven by the intellect. Being silent for long periods of time brought up completely different issues. Who was I when I detached from other people? Who was I when I detached from other people? I am on day 9 of 30 days of silence, and I think I'm losing my mind. Before this, I've definitely never kept my mouth shut for an entire day, much less a whole month. Now, along with the group of monks who joined the ashram at the same time as I did, I've gone for more than a week without speaking, watching, hearing, or communicating in any other way. I'm a talker. I love sharing and hearing others' experiences. In the silence, my mind is going wild. In quick succession, I think of rap lyrics to songs I haven't heard in a while, everything I have to read and learn for monk school, how everyone else is possibly enduring this, a random conversation I once had with an ex-girlfriend, what I would be doing at this very moment if I had taken a job instead of becoming a monk, counting down the days till I can speak again. This is all in 10 minutes. In my month-long silent retreat, there is no outlet. I have no option but to go inward. I must face my monkey mind and start conversations. I ask myself questions. Why do I need to talk? Why can't I just be in my thoughts? What can I find in silence that I can't get anywhere else? When my mind wanders, I return to my questioning. I find initially that the silence and stillness help me discover new details and familiar routines. More revelations follow, not as words, but as experiences. I find myself attuned to every part of my body. I feel the air against my skin, my breath traveling through my body. My mind empties. Over time, other questions emerge. I want to be part of a conversation. Why? I want to connect with other people. Why? I need friendship to feel whole. Why do I feel that friendship as an immediate need rather than a long-term comfort? My ego uses friendship to feel secure in my choices. And then I see the work I need to do on my ego. Often in the emptiness, I repeat to myself, make your mind your friend. And I imagine that my mind and I are at a networking event. It's loud, it's hectic. There's a lot going on. But the only way to build a friendship is to start a conversation. And that's what I do. Okay, so I kind of like this because this is even kind of deeper than meditating, and not deeper, but it will force you to have a lot of self-control. I feel like to have a lot of self-control, to not speak. I can't even imagine it. So for 30 days, like I want to put myself to the test, maybe on the weekend. Like I feel like it'll be hard with kids though too, because I got kids. So, and I know a lot of us have kids. So how we gonna just ignore the babies? We have to think about how we can do that. Maybe like a retreat somewhere. That'd be so fun and nice. Like do like a self-love or a girls retreat, something. Fasting and the other austerities that monks practice remind us that we can bear greater hardship than we thought possible, that we can overcome the demands of the senses with self-control and resolve. Regardless of their faith, most monks are celibate, eat a highly restricted diet, and live apart from mainstream society. Then there are the extremes. Jain monk Sri Hanstrana Vijaya Maharaja Sahib fasted for 423 days with a few breaks. 423 days with a few breaks. Soku Hinbutsu is the name for a Japanese style of self-mummification practice where monks would eat a diet of pine needles, tree bark, and resins, then give up food and water while they continued to chant mantras until eventually their bodies petrified. You don't have to take vows or eat pine needles to explore your limits. Often, all that holds us back from achieving the impossible is the belief that it is impossible. Okay? Often, all that holds us back from achieving the impossible is the belief that it is impossible. From 1850, when the first accurately measured circular running tracks were made, until 1954, the record for running a mile never dropped below 4 minutes. Nobody had done it in less, and it was thought that nobody could. Then in 1954, British Olympian Roger Bannister set out to do it. He ran a mile in 3.59.4 minutes, breaking the 4-minute barrier for the first time. Ever since, runners have been breaking subsequent records at a much quicker pace. Once people realized there was no limit, they pushed further and further. There are everyday people as well who use austerities to up their game. People consistently report that experimenting with extremes helps them be more thoughtful and positive in everyday lives. Let's explore how you can use austerities to detach. Okay? Now, how to detach. And we will be finishing up soon. I know it's 8:30, our hour of power, but we might as well finish this little chapter because it's only like 2 pages left. So I want to start on chapter 8 tomorrow, okay? So how to detach. All of the ways we've already talked about training the mind involve detaching. Becoming an objective observer of the competing voices in your head, having new conversations with the conscious mind to reframe thoughts, finding compassion for yourself, staying in the moment. Instead of reactively doing what we want, we proactively evaluate the situation and do what is right. Think of austerities as a detachment boot camp. Disconnect from the ideas that limit you. Open your mind to new possibilities. And like a soldier training for battle, you will find that your intellect gets stronger. You will find that you're capable of more than you've ever imagined. There are infinite austerities or challenges you can try. Giving up TV or your phone, sweets or alcohol, taking on a physical challenge, abstaining from gossip, complaining, and comparing. The austerity that was most powerful for me was meditating in cold or heat. The only way to escape the cold was to go inward. I had to learn to redirect my attention from the physical discomfort by talking to my mind. I still use this technique at the gym. If I'm doing crunches, I bring awareness to a part of my body that doesn't hurt. I don't recommend this for psychological pain. I'm not a stoic. But the skill of removing yourself from physical pain allows you to tolerate it in a positive sense. When you know the pain has value, you're getting stronger at the gym. You're serving food to children on a very hot day. You are able to push yourself mentally and physically. You can focus on what is important instead of being distracted by your discomfort. We start with awareness. Spot the attachment. When do you experience it? When are you most vulnerable to it? Let's say you want to detach from technology. Do you use it out of boredom, laziness, fear of missing out, loneliness? If you want to stop drinking, look at the frequency and time of day. Are you using it to unwind, to connect or reward yourself, or to check out? Once you have diagnosed the attachment, the next step is to stop and rethink it. What do you want to add and what do you want to subtract? How much time do you want to dedicate to technology and in what form? Are there certain apps you want to eliminate entirely, or do you want to limit the time that you spend using your phone? For drinking, you might look at whatever you think you need to quit entirely. Whether you want to experiment with a dry month to see what you learn about yourself, or whether you want to limit yourself. The third step is to swap in new behavior. There are two general approaches that I recommend. Choose the one that best suits your personality. The monk way is to go all in. If immersion and extremes work best for you, you might commit to eliminating social media entirely for a week or a month. Or you might, as I mentioned above, go on the wagon for a month. If you work better in slow, gradual iterations, make a small change and build on it. Okay? In the case of technology, you could limit the amount of time you allow yourself to be online, or perhaps limit, but don't fully eliminate certain apps. Decide how you want to spend your newfound time. If you want to minimize your YouTube time, look for another way to find that relaxation or decompression. Meditation is my first go-to. If you're cutting back on social media, do you want to spend the time interacting with friends in real life rather than online? Perhaps as a project, you could select which of those Instagram photos deserve to go in an album or on your walls. Use your found time to fulfill the same need to accomplish the projects and to-dos that always linger on the back burner. At first, when we make a change, the mind may rebel. Look for ways to ease the transition, right? If I want to eat less sugar, reading studies linking sugar to cancer strengthens my intellect and motivates me to persist. At the same time, my wife sets up what I call the worst snack drawer of all time. There's nothing bad in it. No junk food. My senses don't have access to snacks. You hear what he said? My senses don't have access to snacks, right? So this just made me think about myself and wanting to eat healthier, right? Make healthier food choices for myself and my kids. And if you look at our in our cabinet right now, our senses see these pretzels, these Pringles, you know what I'm saying? Our senses see these things. So naturally, we're going to crave these things. We're going to want these things. So it'd be smarter not to even have these things around, right? Out of sight, out of mind. Once again, it goes back to that, right? At the same time, my wife sets up what I call the worst snack drawer of all time. There is nothing bad in it. No junk food. My sisters don't have access to snacks. I also look for natural habits that curb my desire. I notice that after I go to the gym, I eat less sugar. For me, going to the gym wakes up the charioteer. Realizing that I turn sugar to increase my energy and improve my mood, I look for other healthier activities that have a similar effect. Once the initial pangs of desire abate, you'll begin to feel the benefits of detachment. You'll find new clarity and perspective. You'll feel more control over the monkey mind, but you will also stop trying to control that which you can't control. The mind will quiet and you will make decisions without fear, ego, envy, or greed. You will feel confident and free from illusion. Though life remains imperfect, you accept it as it is and see a clear path ahead. Okay? Mind maintenance. Detachment doesn't mean we completely ignore our bodies and our minds. The body is a vessel. It contains us. It's so important. We have to take care of it, feed it, keep it healthy. But the vessel is just a carrier. What it carries is the real value. And the mind, as we've talked about, is an important counterbalance to the intellect's control and restraint. Without his chariot, horse, and reins, the charioteer's options are limited. She is slow, or he can't travel far on his own, or she can't pick up a weary traveler and help them on their journey. We do not want to eliminate the voices in our heads or the body that carries them. We just want to steer them in the right direction. But this means the charioteer's work is never done. Okay? We wake up with morning breath, smelly, tired. Every morning we accept the need to brush our teeth and shower. We don't judge ourselves for needing to wash up. When we get hungry, we don't say to ourselves, "Oh my God, I'm the worst. Why am I hungry again?" Bring the same patience and understanding when you're low on motivation, unfocused, anxious, or addled, and the charioteer is weak. Okay, so when you're not feeling yourself, bring the same patience and understanding when you're not feeling your best. When you feel out of alignment, right? Still be kind to yourself. Waking him up is like taking a shower and feeding yourself. An everyday practice. Matthew Ricard, the world's happiest man, told me that we should cultivate inner peace as a skill. If you ruminate on sadness and negativity, he explained, it will reinforce a sense of sadness and negativity. But if you cultivate compassion, joy, and inner freedom, then you build up a kind of resilience and you can face life with confidence. When I asked him how we cultivate those skills, he said, we train our brains. In the end, it is your mind that translates the outside world into happiness or misery. The good news is that the more practice you have at tuning into your mind, the less effort it takes. Like a muscle that you exercise regularly, the skill grows stronger and more reliable. If we work every day to cleanse our thoughts, gently redirecting the ones that don't serve us, then our minds are pure and calm, ready for growth. We can deal with new challenges before they multiply and become unmanageable. As the Bhagavad Gita advises, cultivate Buddha or your discriminating intelligence to discern the true knowledge and practice wisdom so that you will know the difference between truth and untruth, reality and illusion. Your false self and true self, the divine qualities and demonic qualities, knowledge and ignorance, and how true knowledge illuminates and liberates, while ignorance veils your wisdom and holds you in bondage. Okay? So when he said that, all I could think about was our card that we pulled today. Discern the truth, right? Be able to discern the truth. Our ego is often what holds us back from true knowledge, steering the mind toward impulse and impression. Next, we will examine how it influences the mind and how we can bring it back down to size. Okay? So that is it. That is it, family. We definitely went over our hour today, but that is okay. Thank y'all. I'm grateful. If you took value from this read, drop me a 222 in the chat today. I've been seeing 222 a lot. So we'll go with 222 today. Yeah, so tomorrow morning we are going to start fresh with chapter 8, and we talking all about the ego, right? So the mind was chapter 7, chapter 8 is the ego. And from today's read, what I took from today's read the most was that we need to get out of our comfort zones, right? We need to get uncomfortable. We need to be doing things every single day that's testing our limits, right? Testing what we believe to be impossible, right? Taking those cold showers. Like, I am going to start doing that. I want to start doing it. I want to push myself to get comfortable with it, because it's something that I'm very uncomfortable with right now, right? Taking those cold showers. Not talking. I don't know about that. I don't know how that'll work out. Crystal, you think that'll work out for you? Not talking for like 24 hours or something like that? I don't know. My kids have to be gone, but I think I could do it. Like, it'd be pretty cool to see what comes up in my mind, to be able, maybe we could write instead, like write it out. But yeah, that's it. Like, test your limits. Be confident, be kind to yourself. Be willing to talk to your inner child mind, right? Your monkey mind. When those thoughts come up, when you hear your inner self telling you something that's not true, or placing doubt upon you or your visions or your goals or your plans and your dreams, talk to yourself, right? Crystal said, I have to talk. See, that is, so you know, I feel like I have to talk too, but that would be a good test for us to be able to test our limits, to see if we could go even 6 hours without saying anything, right? And not being asleep, but just not speaking, right? I'm going to try the cold shower too. Okay, Barb. Yes, we gonna try this thing. I'm gonna start mine in the morning and see how it goes. It's just so crazy because I do have like my little routine and I be so comfortable. Oh, you said it's your job? Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. She said it's her job. She has to talk. Okay. On the weekend, girl, when you off, give it a try. Or think about a way that you can push yourself. You can get uncomfortable. I already intermittent fast. I don't know if y'all fast at all. I know Crystal on a whole healthy eating journey. She didn't let go of meat and everything. But I feel like I intermittently fast because I only eat like one time a day. Like, I don't really eat breakfast. When we get off of here, I'm gonna go get a coffee. And I feel like that kind of makes my appetite not be there for a breakfast or anything like that. Okay. But that's it, family. I'm super grateful to be growing with y'all, super grateful to be learning with y'all and evolving and transforming into the highest and best version of myself. This is definitely a journey, but it's a journey that's well worth it. Every sacrifice that we will make is worth it for what we are becoming, right? What we are evolving into. We didn't pass the stage of the program, the way we were programmed. We are not the people we were programmed to be. We are reprogramming ourselves right now. We are changing our paradigm. We are elevating our mindset. And I'm just grateful. I'm super, super grateful and thankful. So that's it. We're going to end it right here. I actually have some things. I got to get up and get out. I got to be somewhere at 11 o'clock, actually. So I know the kids will be waking up soon. I'm super, super grateful for y'all. Super, super blessed. Have a good day. Protect y'all energy today. Protect y'all peace today. Don't let those energy vampires drain you. Kill them with kindness. Give them a smile. When you feel that little trigger, if somebody say something that get on your nerves, when you feel it, think before you speak, right? Don't just react. Respond from your highest and best self, okay? Because you coming down to their level is not doing nothing but proving that they have power over you, proving that you are not the master of your thoughts and actions. And we are, okay? We are the master of our thoughts and actions. We are self-awareness and self-mastery. So that's it, family. I am your sister in love. I am your sister in light. I appreciate you. And I will see y'all in the morning. Have a good day.